Welcome to the Kectil Global Roundup, your monthly source for news and updates from around the world. Welcome to the Kectil Global Roundup, where we bring you insights into pressing global issues. I'm Alexandra Fomin, your host for today's episode. Today we have some important news coming from Kenya. Protests against a new tax law have turned violent. Demonstrators stormed the parliament and the police responded with gunfire, leading to casualties. The protests are against President Ruto's Finance Bill 2024, which many believe imposed unfair taxes and reflects widespread dissatisfaction with the government's economic policies. We already talked about this in more detail in the latest live broadcast, where you can hear more about what is happening in Kenya, because the events there are changing very quickly. Stay tuned for more updates. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay informed on the latest news. And now we're turning our focus to Sudan, where the situation in Darfur has taken a tragic turn. Let's dive into the details of what's happening. The conflict in Sudan, particularly in Darfur, has escalated dramatically since April 2023. This latest surge in violence began when the uneasy alliance between Sudan's top two military leaders, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and General Mohamed Hamdok Dagalo, broke down, plunging the country into chaos. The fighting between the Sudan Armed Forces (CAF) and the Rapid Support Force (RSF), a paramilitary group formerly known as the Yanavid, has resulted in several consequences for the civilian population. In Darfur, the RSF has been accused of targeting the Mozambique people and an ethnic group in the region. Reports from the European Union and human rights organizations have described these attacks as ethnic cleansing, with over 1,000 Muslim civilians killed and many more displaced. The violence has led to a humanitarian crisis, with aid organizations struggling to provide support due to the ongoing conflict. The situation in towns like El Fasher is particularly critical. The city under siege has become a refuge for over 1 million displaced people. The conflict has dispersed essential services and raised fears of famine and further humanitarian disaster. Internationally, various countries, including the UAE and Russia, are involved, supporting different factions for their strategies' interests. This involvement complicates the conflict further, while Sudan's civilian population bears the burden of the violence and instability. As the situation unfolds, it's crucial to stay informed and support humanitarian efforts aimed at helping those affected by this devastating conflict. Amnesty International recent report sheds light on the challenges faced by Nigerian girls who have been rescued from Boko Haram. The report emphasizes that these girls often return to communities that neglect their needs for education, healthcare, and psychological support. According to the organization, despite promises from the Nigerian government to provide comprehensive assistance, many girls are left to fend for themselves, struggling with trauma and stigma. The report calls for urgent action to fulfill these promises and ensure that these girls receive the necessary support to rebuild their lives. It highlights the importance of addressing and the long-term impacts of abduction and captivity on their well-being. Amnesty International urges the international community to pursue Nigeria into fulfilling its obligations and providing adequate resources for the rehabilitation and integration of these girls. South Africa recently held its national elections, marking a significant moment in the country's political landscape. The African National Congress (ANC) emerged victorious once again, securing a majority of the votes. These outcomes reaffirm the ANC's long-standing position as the dominant political party in South Africa since the end of apartheid. The elections were closely watched amid ongoing concerns about corruption, unemployment, and economic challenges facing the nation. The ANC win signals both continuity and the need for addressing pressing issues that affect South Africans daily. The party's leadership under President Cyril Ramaphosa faced the task of delivering on promises made during the campaign, including reforms to stimulate economic growth and tackle inequality. The election results also saw other parties making gains, reflecting a diverse political landscape where different voices and concerns are responded. As South Africa moves forward, the focus remains on how the new government will address the country's socio-economic challenges and meet the expectations of its citizens. Next country, Mozambique, faced serious challenge due to its natural gas resources and armed groups operating in the region. The discovery of natural gas off the coast has attracted investment but also brought significant problems. Local communities have not seen many benefits from these resources, leading to frustration and tension. At the same time, armed groups have intensified attacks, causing fear and instability among the people. These groups exploit the region vulnerabilities, complexities, efforts to manage and develop Mozambique's natural resources. The situation calls for comprehensive strategies to address both economic development and security concerns in the region. Efforts are underway to find solutions and ensure that Mozambique's natural wealth benefits its people while addressing the threat posed by armed groups. International support and cooperation are crucial in stabilizing the situation and promoting sustainable development in the region. And next thing that we will explore in today's video, how Afrophobia harmed the African dream. Afrophobia, which is produced against Africans by fellow Africans, is a serious problem affecting unity and progress across the continent. Despite Africa's diverse culture and rich heritage, prejudices and discrimination among its own people create divisions that hold back cooperation and economic growth. This bias has widespread effects, damaging social harmony and economic advancement. It reinforces unfair stereotypes and exclusionary practice, preventing Africans from fully contributing to their societies. The article urged action to confront and eliminate these prejudices, stressing a need for inclusivity and unity among all Africans. To combat Afrophobia, it's crucial to raise awareness, educate people, and implement fair policies that promote equality and celebrate diversity throughout Africa. By addressing this issue, Africa can move closer to achieving its goals of unity and prosperity for everyone. Mexico recently held a significant election that's important to understand. The election involved choosing a new president and other government leaders. The outcomes of this election is crucial for Mexico's future direction and policy. The election was closely watched because it comes at a time when Mexico faced various challenges, including economic issues and concerns about crime and corruption. The winning party will need to address these issues and fulfill promises made during the campaign. The results of the election will impact Mexico's relationships with other countries and its own internal affairs. It reflects the democratic process where people vote was decided who leads the country and shapes its future. Haiti is currently facing a severe crisis due to escalating gang violence. This situation has caused widespread fear and instability among the population. Gangs in Haiti have become increasingly powerful, controlling neighborhoods and carrying out violent acts. The violence has disrupted daily life for Haitians, affecting their safety, access to basic services, and economic stability. The government's efforts to address the issue have faced challenges including limited resources and the complexity of gang dynamics. International organizations and neighboring countries are also involved in trying to support Haiti and stabilize the situation. The crisis highlights the urgent need for comprehensive strategies to combat gang violence and restore peace and security to the country. The G7 group of nations has accused China of supporting Russia in the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. They claim China's actions are aiding Russia's military operations against Ukraine. This accusation comes amid global concerns about the humanitarian impact and geopolitical implication of the conflict. The city of Mariupol in Ukraine is facing a severe humanitarian crisis due to the ongoing conflict with Russia. The situation has led to widespread hunger and suffering among the residents, with reports of war, crimes, and atrocities committed. International attention and aid efforts are focused on alleviating the suffering and addressing the urgent needs of the affected population. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been shaping the country's foreign policy in a significant way. His approach emphasized strengthening bilateral relations with key countries worldwide, including the United States, Russia, and neighboring nations like Pakistan and China. Modi's foreign policy also focused on boosting India's economic partnership globally, promoting trade and investment opportunities. He aims to position India as a crucial player in international affairs, advocating for global issues like climate change and sustainable development. Under Modi leadership, India has sought to balance its strategic interests while navigating complex regional dynamics, particularly in South Asia. His policies are closely watched for their impact on India's standing in the global arena and its relationship with other nations. In Liberia, survivors of the civil war are striving for justice through a war crimes court. This court aims to hold accountable those responsible for atrocities committed during the conflict. Many Liberians who endured immense suffering and loss see the court as crucial for healing and reconciliation. The court's establishment is seen as a significant step towards addressing past grievances and ensuring perpetrators and held accountable. It represents a push for justice and accountability in a country scarred by years of violence and instability. Survivors and activists continue to advocate for the court's effectiveness in delivering justice and fostering national unity. Their efforts highlight the ongoing quest for accountability and reconciliation in Liberia post-war society. For today, this is all the news we wanted to share with you. Thank you for being with us. We wish you peace in your countries. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more insightful updates and inspiring stories from around the world. We also have podcasts where you can find even more news and interesting first-hand stories. You can find a link to all our social networks in the description below this video. Stay tuned for next month's Kectil Global Roundup, where we'll continue to explore the latest news and trends shaping our world.